Hello and welcome back to the channel. Join me on a really nice day here in the Wyre Forest in Worcestershire, and we're going to go to the calf this morning along route number, I think it's route number 4. Got quite a few routes, so we're going to the same place, and it's an absolutely smashing morning, but I don't know how many more nice mornings we're going to get, so I thought I'd make the most of it. Just going to go this way, then I'm going to go through the countryside. Oh, a little bit of filtering is going to be needed here, which brings me on to the subject of filtering in general. I did a video which you may have seen, the last one, a couple of days ago, on filtering through the town in Bewdley and that awful traffic. And it's really interesting response actually to that. I was saying how great the CL500 is at that sort of work. And we're going to be going along, as I said, the lanes this morning, filtering around the lanes, if you want to call it that. But it's also so good at filtering through traffic. The agility and the sharp turning allows you to cut in around cars and vans and lorries and cement mixers and all the other things that we met on that little journey. I wasn't even intending to make a video of that yesterday. No, sorry, day before yesterday. But when it cropped up, that traffic, I just thought it would have made an interesting video. And as I said, a lot of you have commented on it, and it's interesting. I know a few of my American subscribers, I understand them to be American anyway, from the videos that they have on their own channels. We're quite surprised, even shocked by it. And I know that of course in America filtering is illegal in many states. I'm not sure actually of the law on that. If you're American yourself and you know the exact laws on that, I'd be interested to know. Is it vary state to state, or is it blanket across the US that filtering is illegal? And it got me thinking, because I'm not 100% certain of the laws here. I know filtering is legal, and I understand that it's legal to filter past stationary traffic. That's the way I understand it to be. But technically speaking, moving traffic you're not supposed to pass, although traffic that's creeping along, it's a bit of a grey area, isn't it, really? Oh, and we've got ourselves right up behind the vehicle. Great. Yes, it's a bit of a grey area, but it's always been part of motorcycling here. And the thing is, these countries like the US, where it's actually frowned upon and illegal, I find it really surprising in a way, because first of all, America's the land of the free. Well, that's not a political stance I'm taking. I just mean that generally speaking, people are allowed to do within reason what they can. But the traffic laws in the US are really quite strict, aren't they? But it just seems a bit strange that the one advantage that a motorcycle has, the one real thing that it can do that aids both the motorcyclist himself and of course also the general traffic flow, that a bike can move past stationary traffic, is banned and deemed illegal. It seems a bit counterintuitive to me. Right, so we're going to turn right up here, going towards Shatterford. We're going to the calf this morning. As I said, it's going to be a nice morning. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few should be quite a few bikes at the calf this morning. Yes, it just seems odd that you would make illegal. One of the great advantages, is it a safety issue? Is it deemed to be unsafe? Because done with a reasonable amount of care, I don't think it necessarily is unsafe. You have to obviously do it sensibly. It does seem a little bit harsh just to ban it outright, especially on the roads in places like the US, where the width of the road and the amount of space means that it would be safer than in most places. But there we go. And the other thing that was mentioned was that if you did it in the US, drivers would simply take you out. To put it simply, that they get very angry with you if you slid past them, which I suppose comes from the fact that it is illegal. But here, generally speaking, most people, most car and van drivers, or lorry drivers for that matter, actively do help you actually to filter. They'll move out of your way, they'll wave you past, as actually in that video that I showed, I'm talking about, the taxi driver did, that was clearing away the route for the cement mixer early on in the video. He actually waved me past after he got back into his car, and that's generally typifies the attitude of UK car drivers to motorcyclists coming past and filtering. It's not unique, you get the odd one, but it is very rare. But you do maybe get the odd one that might actually wedge themselves in out of frustration, wedge themselves into your way. But to be honest, I can count the number of times that's happened to me on one hand over 30 or 40 years. So yeah, a very different attitude to it. And I don't know how I'd feel riding in a country where filtering wasn't legal. It would seem incredibly restrictive, and even make part of the reason for riding a bike, make it pointless, make riding a bike a little bit pointless, to be honest. We have got a saying actually in this country which bikers like to say. I've heard them repeat it a lot, both in writing and in actually say it to people, that just look at it like this: as a car driver, every motorcycle that passes you when you're standing still in the queue is one less car in front of you in that queue. And that's really true, isn't it, if you think about it, and a good way of looking at it. And I think that's generally the attitude that four-wheeled vehicle drivers have in the UK. Now, having said all that, I must admit, a few years ago, I did read in our local newspaper a car driver that was criticising motorcyclists for coming past them at a certain junction, and did this rambling sort of monologue. And I couldn't resist but write to the newspaper, and it was printed actually, pointing out to them that actually filtering is perfectly legal, and maybe they should change their mind towards the whole situation. But that was a one-off. Strange, that's come back to me. That was about probably 4 or 5 years ago. But I would say generally that attitude's quite rare. There we go, just passing into Shropshire now from Worcestershire. It's a lovely, lovely day today. Just the right temperature. It's bright, it's sunny, but there's a chill in the air. It's not too overpowering in the biking gear. It's just right. It's quite clear today, as you can see from the views there. And those clouds up there, they look lovely. That's a Simpsons sky, as we call it. That cartoon sky from the start of The Simpsons. Lovely. Yes, I'm not sure who's going to be at the CAF today. I know, I think Malcolm won't be there. He's busy doing other things. But we should get quite a few out, I think. Apparently the weather is turning rainy again, and the temperatures are dropping soon. That's an interesting place there, actually, the Paul Hall Cafe. Never been in there. I must stop in there. It's a fishing location mostly, but I'll have to drop down there one day. Yeah, so I don't know who's there at the CAF today, but what I'm going to do is have a mooch box for you. We'll have a little film and see what turns up. Incidentally, my hunt for a second motorcycle continues apace, although the prices are still very high at the moment in the market. I did expect them to start falling. There is some hint, I think, because I'm a bit of an avid watcher of all the motorcycle advertisements on eBay and Auto Trader and Facebook Marketplace. I'm a bit addicted to looking at them. I'm a bit sad like that, a bit of an anorak. And I have noticed what I would consider to be the beginning of a slippage in the prices. I've noticed a few of the more obscure manufacturers have started to have reductions on the actual retail price of their new bikes, which is usually a sign of the market slowing down. And the obscure, by obscure makes I mean, for one, it was Motor Marini. We have a dealer for them very local to me, and they've dropped the retail price across their entire range of their bikes by £300 or £400 each. Now those, as you may or may not know, Motor Marini are a Chinese made motorcycle with an Italian name. That's another subject which I'll have to come on to at some point. But they are what I would call a more obscure make, hardly mainstream. And to reduce all the prices, the recommended retail prices of their bikes across the range, despite them being an obscure make, that is quite unusual and quite significant, I think, and may mark the beginning of a downward turn in the prices in general on motorcycles, and inevitably the price of second-hand bikes will follow. but I may be just I may be ahead of myself. I don't know, we'll see. We're certainly getting towards the end of the motorcycling season now, midway through August, so I would have expected some sort of movement. And the bike I'm going to buy, I've got no problem waiting right up until winter if necessary to buy it, because it'd be nice to have a sort of a winter project. It is a second-hand bike with maybe one or two cosmetic issues that I could sort them out over the winter. Well, of course we'll do some videos on those. So that's interesting. We'll see how that pans out. Although there is one second-hand bike actually that cropped up this morning when I was looking, and it's in Starport on 7, the town just down the road from me, which, if you're not familiar with the area, I did do a video on a few videos back, having a little ride around Starport. And it's a Honda CBF 600. I've had a CBF 1000 before, very nice bike, and I enjoyed it. And if it was 1000 I would be extremely interested in it, but this one, it's low mileage, it looks very, very nice and genuine. It's got a few little marks around it, but it does look quite genuine to me, and it's very reasonably priced, so I may well go and have a look at that either tomorrow or, well, whenever it's available to view. May have a look at that one, because it would make a nice winter project and make a nice winter bike as well, so I wouldn't have to take the CL out in the worst of the weather. And it's also a bike that I can perhaps add a little bit to in terms of its value, although it does look well looked after as it is. But I do like getting the polish out and getting all the cleaners out and making something look absolutely pinpoint. I do enjoy doing that. So that's a possibility. Right, we're coming up to the cafe now then, as I'm sure you know by now. And I will endeavour to have a little mooch around the bikes and film them for you, see what's turned up today. It's tea time for me, or maybe a coffee. Could be. So thanks for being with me, I appreciate it very, very much indeed. Oh, there's 3 here and a few down there, it's quite early yet. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.